Hey guys, it's Tom. As you know, when I do my videos, I do as many as I can get in. So, we all have knives. Even if you're a bushcrafter, you have knives. And now, there might be one company, there might be one knife that just, it gives you that invincibility feeling. I've got a few of them. They might not be the best knife. They might not be, an Essie, a Tops, a Bark River, Cold Steel. But they just give you that invincibility feeling. Now, for guys like me, or used to be me, I kind of went the gambit of both ways. I can't say I was a professional, but I go for a week at a time. Sometimes, sometimes two. Well, I had a good knife, and I had what most would consider to be junk knives. Like, hang on, I'll show you. This is a Parker Raime 633, hollow handled, unbelievably thin survival knife. This would go with me on expeditions. I chop wood, and I didn't know, back in the day, I figured, well, you can't break a knife, it's steel. So this would go with me for chopping on expeditions and a Swiss Army knife. And I've used this for squirrels. But and it had a compass that worked. Lots of matches in the back because that's all it was good for, is just hauling matches. Excellent, excellent, excellent leather sheath with a sharpening stone. Hey, if Rambo could do it, Tom could. Tom just got out of the service, and I was invincible myself, let alone the knives I took. Little did we know at the time. Okay, we'll get that later. As years moved on, I got into some knives that, like a United Cutlery 212 that I used for years. Then I bought an SP5, and that was my go-to knife. That knife just gave me the invincibility, man. But it was big. K-bar the same way, my old K-bar. I put that in my hands. I could go anywhere, do anything. I could fight Sasquatches. And then, I used all kind of knives. Now I got custom knives that I know I can't break. Well, with regular use. But did you ever have that one knife that just gave you that oomph? I'm invincible. And it's not the best knife in the world. Now, for professionals, I mean, this is a Josh Wade custom. Excuse me. This is my design. This is the Tom Ritter survival knife. It's got a 5-inch blade. That's beautiful drop point on there. This is W1 tool steel, and this thing is just incredible. Never dulls, and I've used it a lot. You can kind of see the wear marks on it. Stabilized wood handle. Got a kind of green camouflage. Okay, this kind of knives I use now. Back then, no, they weren't around. And if you got a custom knife, it was like a Randall or a Parrish, a Blackie Collins, stuff like that. Um, Benchmade just started coming out then. So you bought them knives, and they were expensive knives. And you used them on a weekend, maybe 2, 3 times a month. Line me up 50 guys, there might be one out of that 50 that goes out longer than a weekend. Okay. So it got me thinking as of lately. If I'm going out there, I want a knife that gives me oomph. I put it in my hands, it's like I'm invincible. That's my knife. There's a few of them. I'll have to admit, there's quite a few of them actually. There's my old bar, and there's my recently acquired D2. This knife, I put it in my hands, and it just transports me back to being invincible. Best knife in the world? No. Well, I think it is, but some say it isn't. It's got a stick tang. Oh, you can't go out in the woods with a stick tang. Why not? I'm going to use it as a knife. It's not a pry bar. It's not a wedge. It's not a wood splitting maul. It's a knife. Being a knife, using as a knife, it's a unbeatable tool. There's that bar. There's what I consider to be the perfect knife that K-Bar ever came out with. The mini bar. K-Bar short. What is this? I don't know. I forget the numbers on it. But the mini K-Bar. The handle fits perfect. It's 5-inch blade. It's the perfect knife for your weekend worrying. Camping, fishing, hunting, hiking. Little Kydex sheath. I gotta get a leather one, but this is another knife. Put it in my hands and I'm invincible. Put a pouch on it so that I can carry a little bit of fire making stuff. Another one would be 99% of my Swiss Army knives. I know with one of these knives I'm well protected and I'm okay. Camping and hunting too. This one's got a saw on it. See that little roe deer? Olive drab scales on it. It's got a gut ripper and a saw and the knife and everything. So I carry that in my pocket or any of my other Swiss Army knives. It also, I'll take the bar, the mini bar, or that. I got excuse me, a marbles. Marbles coffin handle bowie I showed on the last video. I would not be afraid of going out in the woods for a weekend or even a week with this knife. It just gives me that oomph. That I'm invincible. And man, there's nothing like that feeling of picking that knife up and playing with it and putting it back in the sheath, and 2 years later you're still doing the same darn thing, because man, that just does it for me, Now, the great knife debate. Should I use an SE or Bark River, a Tops, a K-Bar? Listen, you got to figure out what you're doing here. If you're out on a weekend hike, you're a weekend warrior only. 99% of the time, a pocket knife will work. Let's just say you're a camper. Same thing, a camper, 90% of the time, a pocket knife will be all they need for a weekend. If you're a professional, like any kind of military professional, EMT, cop, search and rescue guys, or like Dave Canterbury or Jim Bender, or Blackie Thomas, any of them guys, they're professionals. So you want a good, great knife because it's going to be on their side every day, and they're going to be using it to the hilt every day. They're professionals, and they need a better knife. That's really all there is to it. Now, if you're one of them guys that like to buy one and all, one and done, research it, and there's some SE knives out there. Like I just picked up a Randall's Adventure Team Rat 7. I picked up another Rat 7. There's some knives out there that are just, you can't kill them. You could buy one knife and be done. Cover all your needs: hunting, hiking, camping, you name it. There's also some pocket knives out there like that Swiss Army knife. Buck knives. This one too, this is an SE Avispa. It's got a nice, 3.5-inch blade, built like a tank, sharp as a razor, and holds an edge forever. Now, out of all my knives that I have, if I was really going and saying, hey, this is my one knife, my everyday carry, my hunting knife, my fishing knife, my camping knife, it would really have to be my Colonial CE 100. Now, I don't have the knife because I loaned it out to Isaac's Knives and Knowledge. He's put a few videos, I've had a few videos up on it. The Colonial CE 100. It's a 154 CPM steel, and it's made by Diving Sparrow, which any of you that was in the bushcraft world in the early 2000s knows about Diving Sparrow knives. So if you're looking for a knife, or you have a knife, I like the Humph. If it gives me confidence I can go with it, I'm going with it. Or maybe it's a mediocre knife like that Marbell's, and I'll pair it up with a good knife like this Swiss Army knife. That'll handle my big chores, and that'll handle my little chores, and everybody's happy. I'll come home in 2 days and hope it don't worse for wear. So, remember, pick up the knives you got the oomph of. These are going to make the knives of your future. I'm going to be 60, which is not that old, but old enough. I'm going to be 60. There are very few knives I have left, and I can pick up that says, give me the oomph. K-bar generally is one of them. I haven't just picked up a Becker BK7, which, I avoided the hype for years. I sincerely really like that knife. Not as much as this, but I do like that knife. My D2, my old K-bar. I have a K-bar here I've used in a service. It's a 40-some-year-old knife, K-bar, and it's still going. Or, if I'm just in a froggy mood, I'll grab one of my customs and use it for a day or two. But them the knives, the oomph knives, that's going to give you the invincibility factor. That's, I'm Superman, and make you a lot of members. When you get older, that's all you have left. So this is Tom. I want to thank you for your time and your patience. Don't forget to like the video and share it out to your friends. In the meantime, we'll see you on the next ones.